Hello! I don't normally make videos like this, but my audience here on YouTube is in the age range that I think will know who this is. It might take you a second. Just look at her face. Picture it like a little younger and her with dark short hair. Did it hit you yet? Yeah, it's Casey Anthony. I was just scrolling through TikTok when I see this woman talking in her car, and I'm like, wait a second, she looks familiar, and not in like a good way familiar. That's Casey Anthony. And I try not to swear too much because YouTube doesn't like it, but what the actual fuck? This woman is on TikTok, apparently. That was not on my 2025 bingo card. So just, to like calm down for a moment, I tell myself, most people these days have some sort of social media, like most people. But what's on her TikTok? Oh, her very first TikTok says, "It's been more than 16 years since my name became a household one. Everyone seems to have an opinion about me, about my life. I am an advocate and a researcher." I'm gonna stop. An advocate and a researcher. That's how she's referring to herself. What? And then I went over and looked. She has, at this point of me recording this, 27.8 thousand followers and 28.7 thousand likes. Duh. Do you have so many questions? Because I do. Like, why are people liking this page? I'm going to guess that some people don't know who this is. I mean, she's kind of like sideways talking in her car. People have, FYP on TikTok. Maybe it just popped up and they're like, oh, this woman's talking about something. And I agree with it, not knowing who she is. This case did happen a long time ago. Thinking that way, thinking that people don't know, makes me feel a little bit better about the fact that this page has a bunch of likes. So if you were like, well, who is this? Why is this upsetting? I will try to sum up her case the best I can and then show you the rest of her TikToks. Just a heads up, there are some words I cannot use on YouTube. So if my verbiage is odd or there's like a gap in something I say, that's why. I feel like this article sums it up pretty well. Casey Anthony became a household name in 2008 following the disappearance of her daughter, 2-year-old Kaylee. And then again in 2011 when a Florida jury found her not guilty. So Kaylee, her daughter, was reported missing by the grandmother, Cindy, after she reportedly didn't see Kaylee for a month. And you read that correctly. Casey was not the one who reported her own daughter missing. And Casey pretty much said her daughter was with a babysitter. That ended up being a lie, false story. So, looks bad, right? Casey lied, didn't report her own daughter missing. Sounds suspicious right off the bat. Unfortunately, the body of Kaylee was found in December of 2008. This was almost 6 months after she disappeared in Orlando, Florida. So, this whole case, there was a ton of evidence pointing towards her being murdered and Casey being the one that did it. I won't list all of the evidence. It's very disturbing. And just trigger warning, I'll explain some of it, but I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I will also link the forensic analysis website that lists all of the evidence if you want to read it. I will put it in the description of this video. But basically, a 911 call had Cindy, who is Kaylee's grandma, saying that Casey's car smelled like a dead body. And there was a lot of other evidence. They discussed the presence of chloroform, duct tape. There was also cyber evidence on Casey's laptop. There was stuff found in her car. It was, the amount of evidence against Casey was significant. I don't remember anyone saying that this woman was innocent when you heard people talking about it. And in general, the prosecutors believed that Casey hated her daughter. Most of the world seemed to think the same thing. But I also will never forget watching the end of her trial and being completely shocked how it ended.
Casey Marie Anthony, a jury of your peers, having found you not guilty as to the charge contained in count 1 of the indictment in the first degree, at this time I will adjudge you to be not guilty. As to count 2, the crime of aggravated child, a jury of your peers having found you to be not guilty, the court will adjudge you to be not guilty of the crime contained in count 2. As to count 3, aggravated manslaughter of a child, a jury of your peers having found you not guilty, I will adjudge you to be not guilty of that count.
So unexpected. And now, all these years later, seeing this woman talk like this on TikTok, it's making people mad, is what it's doing.
The whole point of this is for me to begin to reintroduce myself. I'm doing this both personally for me, but in a professional capacity. Moving forward, the majority of what you will see will be me speaking in a professional capacity. My goal is to continue to help give a voice to people, to give people tools and resources that they can utilize so they actually know where they can turn to. One of the main reasons that I'm doing this, there are people close to me who have been targeted and attacked recently. There are also people close to me who have had some recent things occur. And when necessary, people needed to step up, myself included. So as a proponent for the LGBTQ community, for our legal community, women's rights,
I will read some comments from her TikTok. Sending hate from Ghana. You realize that Casey Anthony never reported her daughter missing. It was Casey's mother. Casey Anthony rebranding herself as a legal advocate is like Jeffrey Dahmer opening up a steakhouse. Like, people are just going off. Your name is not a household name. Your daughter's is. Notice how she only mentions herself and nothing about grieving her daughter. Her daughter would be 20 in August. Oh, it's so sad. She's not your daughter. She's your victim.
But I am proverbially standing in the light, embracing this piece, still going to keep my privacy intact, so you will get very comfortable with my car.
And then her last post says, the presumption of innocence is a sacred right afforded to all individuals arrested in this country. That is not an opinion, it's a fact. She goes on and on about rush to judgment. She pretty much says that no one will ever know the full facts of the case. The media will never tell you the full truth. So many people are just not having it. One person says, not Casey Anthony trying to gaslight us into believing her fabricated narrative. So yeah, this woman has a TikTok. I don't know. I just have to picture most of these followers are like late at night scrolling. Like, let's say you were born in 2004 and you were 4 when this happened. And also you were then 7 when she went to trial? So people in that age range probably have no clue who this is. Like, there's just a woman talking in her car. I just hope that's part of the likes. It's not like she's like, hey, I went to trial for this. She just says she's an advocate, a researcher. But I have to be real, there is definitely a chance that there are people out there following her because they agree with what she's saying and they know about the trial. So popped up on TikTok. I thought maybe you guys saw it or heard about it maybe, because this was a solid TikTok jump scare for me. Well, guess it's time to ban TikTok again. Make sure to follow me on Instagram if you haven't already. And also, this is my QR code to my Snapchat. Make sure to follow my public profile. I will be posting often on there. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye!